Hey everyone, thanks for joining this next session here at Shiftwork Summit. I'm Jared, I'm head of marketing here, and today I have the pleasure of introducing Barbara, who is the executive vice president at Staffmark, leading commercial staffing operations. She drives strategy across sales, operations, and service nationwide. She brings over 20 years of staffing leadership, including collaboration with Indeed Flex, who we saw present earlier. She's recognized on the SIA Global Power 150 Women in Staffing list. With that, first, I'll say thank you for joining us, Barbara. Appreciate your time and your wisdom that you're going to share with us, and I'll let you take it from here. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jared. What a great conference it's been so far, connecting with so many like-minded people across the country. As Jared mentioned, my name is Barbara Simmer, and I'm the Executive Vice President of Commercial Operations at Staffmark. And I'm so excited to be here today to talk about how we can keep our humanity among the growing amounts of machines, AI, and tech that's infiltrating our daily work. And you'll notice that I inserted heart into the headline as well. When the Hypertrack team reached out about this topic, I thought this is perfect. It's exactly what we focus on at Staffmark. Our mission and our passion is to be the heart between people and jobs. And when we talk about ensuring the workplace is full of humanity, Staffmark isn't just talking. We really want to lead the way. We are a heart first organization because we truly feel honored by the privilege of putting people to work. This is work that matters to us, to our talent, and to the employers that we support. This is the heart of what we do and why we'll always be so passionate about the role of people throughout the talent life cycle. With that said, let's dig into how and where I see some opportunities that we can keep humanity and heart front and center in our workforce development and management processes. I want to start with a story straight from the workplace. A recruiter once told me about a warehouse worker who showed up to a night shift that he had picked up on the app. When he got there, no one knew who he was, no one greeted him, and the supervisor just pointed at a line and said, "You're over there." He told the recruiter later he felt like a barcode that could walk. This is really the risk that we're facing. The more we automate, the easier it is to forget that every data point is actually a person. So today really isn't another hype session about AI automation, LLMs, or other incredible AI tools. Today we're going to talk about judgment, empathy, and connection, the things that algorithms can't replicate, and what we as leaders cannot afford to lose. But this also is not an anti-AI talk, not at all. In fact, I believe that AI can absolutely make work more human if we design for it. And if we don't design AI to support our humanity, we risk creating the most efficient staffing model that nobody actually wants to work in. People want to be heard and seen out in the world. So how, as an industry, are we going to make sure that happens? As the World Economic Forum reports, the vast majority of employers are already integrating AI into their candidate journey and processes. The lesson? AI has passed the tipping point. When it comes to the business of talent, far more people are using it than not. Candidates are adapting fast too. Around 40% of job seekers already use AI tools to craft resumes, write cover letters, prep for interviews. The hiring process is officially a two-sided automation. Digital staffing is exploding. App-based staffing models have doubled since 2020. And with 70% of hourly workers saying they actually prefer picking their own shifts digitally, Speed and flexibility are actually the new expectation. But at the same time, the human gap is widening. As humans become fewer and far between in everyday processes, frustrations are on the rise. For example, a recent CX Drive survey showed that more than 2/3 of people report having a bad experience with a chatbot. And it reminds us that not all AI-driven experiences have happy endings. It's clear that both employers and workers are embracing AI. And so the real challenge is not AI adoption, it's making sure that AI enhances, not erases, the human connection. It's a bit of a double-edged sword, or maybe we call it the double-edged app. Listen, staffing apps are here to stay, and candidates say they like the power of selecting the work they want on their terms. Fill rates have jumped 25% on average. It's a huge success on paper. But we're also seeing satisfaction drop sharply. Workers have said they felt invisible, no check-ins, no recognition, no sense of belonging. And when they had questions that the chatbot couldn't answer, it was too challenging to find a way to speak to someone human. Staffing apps have built efficiency, but we have not yet created loyalty. So the question really isn't if AI will shape staffing, it's how we can make it more human at scale. We can't really talk about staffing's technology-driven future without also being honest about both sides, both its power and its pitfalls. The power focuses on what's working in staffing tech, the innovation, the speed, the flexibility. But the pitfalls remind us what's at risk: connection, trust, meaning. Let's start with the power these tools offer and what's working for everyone, both employers and talent. Smart tools don't just change how people work, they change the outcome, and that's powerful. For talent, technology tools like AI and app-based staffing can deliver flexibility, choice, control, and as a result of increased autonomy, candidates and job seekers can also gain upward mobility. For example, 77% of AI users obtained better paid employment, compared with only 48% of non-AI users, according to a 2025 Software Finder survey. But the gains are not only for candidates, employers are benefiting as well. Faster hiring through digital tools means powerful efficiency gains. Nearly 50% of firms report that digital hiring tools cut time to fill by 20% or more. The takeaway? Digital innovation and AI aren't just about efficiency. They create opportunity. They accelerate growth. They help businesses and people reach their full potential. So we've talked about the incredible power of AI and apps, the flexibility, control, the speed, but what about the pitfalls? When people have less access to human beings in the talent journey, work can start to feel purely transactional, shift after shift. Without conversation and human engagement, there's no mentorship, there's no sense of belonging. It's efficient, but it's empty. That emptiness has a cost in engagement, in loyalty, and in retention. Technology can make processes efficient, but it's the human connection, the coaching, purpose, empathy that builds engagement that will lead to true retention. As we talk about AI, automation, and digital staffing, it's easy to get caught up in the technology itself. But every major study, from Harvard Business Review to Gartner reminds us that the people remain the real differentiator in that talent journey. Harvard Business Review makes this very clear in their article, where AI can and can't help talent management. AI is fantastic at analyzing data, identifying patterns, surfacing candidates, but it can't read those subtle cues, understanding motivation, or understanding a sense of cultural alignment. The message is really simple. AI should augment human judgment, not replace it. The best leaders use AI as a co-pilot, not as the pilot. The more and more we talk about tech versus people in the talent journey, the message is remarkably consistent. Technology makes us faster, but people make us better. The future of staffing isn't human or digital, it's human through digital. The future of staffing is that this is the balance that we have to design for. So let's look at how to do that by exploring how businesses can safeguard humanity while still making the most of the technology in that talent life cycle. My first tip to those looking to maintain humanity in the talent journey is this: design your process for connection. What's the downside of every new worker getting a quick welcome call, an email, or a text from a real recruiter after their first shift or before they even get started? The upside is tremendous and the human cost is minimal. Just a simple check-in. Hey, how was your first day? Little efforts like this can turn transaction into relationships. Celebrations are also a richly human activity. As staffing firms, we track fill rates and on-time arrivals. But how often do we celebrate the humans behind those metrics? Digital doesn't have to mean impersonal. It's entirely possible to send an automated yet personalized note for a 1-year anniversary, a safety milestone, 100 shifts worked. Little celebrations remind people that they're seen, and that builds loyalty. If something matters, measure it. Another great step is to track what percentage of your workers had at least one genuine human touch point in their last 30 days, and if it made an impact. When you start watching that metric, you'll also start improving it. It isn't just feel-good talk. There's proof. According to research from the Center of Innovation, now Coqual, employees who feel that they belong at work are 3.5 times more likely to contribute at their fullest potential. And that's huge. It shows that belonging is measurable and it pays off. Okay, the next tip: create trust. When people understand how decisions are made, they're far more likely to trust them. But when the rules feel hidden or arbitrary or dictated by tech, even your best performers can start wondering if the system is rigged. That uncertainty quietly erodes engagement. Once the trust is gone, loyalty is not far behind. The human approach is to go beyond the data and tell a story that the talent will understand. Here's what I would suggest. Be clear about how shifts are prioritized. If reliability scores and tenure matter, say that up front. If client preferences sometimes decide, explain when and why. Transparency turns what could feel like favoritism into something that feels more fair, even when workers don't always get the exact shift that they want. It's also worthwhile to publish pay and rating details. Every worker should be able to see exactly how their pay is calculated, what bonuses apply, how performance is measured. No small print, no guessing games. People don't expect perfection, but they do expect clarity, and frankly, they need it. It's also good to remember that transparency isn't just about showing the rules, it's also about showing a path forward. Let employees see what keeps them in their current position or what opportunities for growth they might have. What do they need to learn or do in order to advance? Give people tools and tips so that they can improve their roles and improve their pay rates. Okay, tip number 3. AI needs to be the assistant, but not the gatekeeper. Here's what I mean. Automated paths like a rejection or a penalty should also have a human review path as well when needed. This ensures fairness, protects the candidate experience, and maintains accountability. For example, if AI flags a resume as a low fit, a recruiter can still review and override with context the model might have missed if needed. AI should be used to open doors and conversations, not to end them. My suggestion? Have recruiters use AI summaries to start conversations. Rather than filtering out, teach recruiters to use insights for feedback and growth, like guiding a candidate on missing skills or helping a hiring manager refine the job criteria. And finally, set up reoccurring bias audits across geography, tenure, and demographics. Don't just test the algorithm once at the start. We all know technologies can struggle as they evolve. Track performance drift over time to see how the technology can then remain a fair assistant. My final piece of advice. We need to keep evolving the recruiter role. The recruiter today needs to be part analyst, part coach, and part community builder. That's why AI does not replace recruiters. It elevates them. The modern recruiter should blend data insight with human empathy and connection. Here's 3 ways that we can help the recruiter spend too much time on admin: scheduling, data entry, updating records. AI tools can automate those repetitive tasks, giving recruiters time back to focus on the human side of the job. The goal isn't to replace the recruiters, but instead reallocate their efforts towards relationships and long-term engagement. Sentiment analytics can also flag early signs that a worker might disengage: declining satisfaction, lower responsiveness, reduced shift acceptance. Instead of waiting for someone to quit, recruiters can step in proactively with a call or a check-in, a support resource. This blend of AI foresight and human empathy turns retention efforts from reactive to strategic. Traditional recruiting KPIs measure speed and volume, how many shifts or roles are filled. The next generation of metrics should measure quality and retention. How many people stay, thrive, and grow? Start to celebrate recruiters who build trust and loyalty, not just fill orders. That shift can change recruiter culture from transactional to transformational. So, a few final thoughts. We've seen that AI can fill shifts, write messages, even recommend who works where, but it can't ask, "How are you doing?" It can't sense burnout or pride or belonging. Not yet, anyway. So, as leaders in staffing, our job isn't to resist AI or other tech advancements. It's to teach it what matters, to build systems that make space for humanity, not squeeze it out. The future of staffing isn't people versus machines. It's people working with the machines, creating work that feels more flexible, fair, and human. Maintaining humanity and heart in staffing is the only way forward. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Jared, back to you. I think we may have time for a few questions.
Yes, we do. Thanks, Barbara. That was an excellent presentation. Really great to see how we can maintain our human-centric approach in as we pursue efficiency and automation with technology. There's a couple of questions here. So one of them is this attendee mentioned that they love the idea of AI being a co-pilot and not a pilot. In early experiments, are you seeing examples of human pilots snoozing at the cockpit while the machine hijacks us to a different destination?
Yeah, I think that speaks, if I'm understanding the question correctly, to adoption, right? Like that the co-pilot, the pilot, if you will, the live recruiter in this circumstance might not be so interested in using the co-pilot or the AI. And that's something real for us. Listen, as a part of what we've done both with our app at Staffmark and the time that I spent with our sister company in Flex, adoption was a real thing. And I think it boils down to making sure that your recruiters are a part of the process. And what I mean by that is some of these ideas that we have about ways that we can enhance the recruiter role, let them help be part of designing that journey. Get their input on the talent journey. Where does it make sense to automate things, and where does it make sense to keep them at the forefront? And the more that I think they can have that kind of buy-in, maybe we won't see quite so many of them snoozing at the controls.
Awesome. Thanks for that perspective. Another question here is, we know that speed of payment is increasing due to tech that brings transparency. Do you think worker pay will increase due to this technology, or will it commoditize it?
That's a really good question. I actually think it's going to have a positive impact on worker pay. I believe that the reason it will have that positive impact is because employers who are maybe on the mid to low range of pay rate are going to start to feel that pressure of not getting their positions filled. Because when we put the choice and control in the hands of the talent, they're naturally going to choose the higher level job, the higher paying jobs that are available to them. And when that happens, there's going to be less of those workers available for the mid to low pay. So I think it's going to put some pressure on the industry and on employers to really make sure that they're putting fair and comparable pay rates out there in order to attract the talent they want.
Got it. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Although it may be counterintuitive to some. Another question here is, love how you said teach the AI. AI is like an adolescent adult-sized brain needs parenting. Any mental models to how to parent AI?
You know what? We hire people much smarter than me to figure that out. I would say that one of the things we need to do is we need to be consistent. And like I said before, if we can really design like where we want to put automation or AI into the process, I think that could be helpful as well in making sure that we're training it in the direction that we want it to go.
Got it. Awesome. That's an excellent way to wrap up your session. I think you provided some very thought-provoking ideas and excellent tactical tips for us. Really appreciate your time and your perspective, Barbara, and thank you to the Staffmark team as well. We look forward to watching this and checking out and looking out for your thoughts in the future.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much again for the invitation.
Of course. Take care.
Bye-bye.